What if I told you that you could pick up a completely new skill in just 1 month, while most people take years to get there? Sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly what Tim Ferriss has done, and what he's taught thousands of people around the world to do as well. For those who don't know him, Tim is the best-selling author of the 4-Hour Workweek, host of The Tim Ferriss Show, one of the most popular podcasts globally, and above all, a real-life experimenter. He spends his time testing ways to learn faster, work smarter, and live more fully. Today, we're diving into his rapid learning strategies, exploring his life philosophy, and uncovering the daily routines that make the seemingly impossible possible. Before we jump in, I want you to think, what's one skill you've always dreamed of mastering in record time? Drop it in the comments. And if you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any practical tips you can start using today. Get ready to rethink everything you thought you knew about learning, because what you're about to see isn't just theory, it's tested, proven, and within reach for all of us. Part 1. Tim Ferriss's Learning Philosophy. Learn faster, better, and with less friction. That's Tim Ferriss's mantra. But behind every hack, every shortcut, lies a deeper philosophy. Simplify, experiment, and focus on what truly matters. Tim sums it up in 4 words that could become your own personal mantra: deconstruct, select, sequence, stakes. Deconstruct. Break the skill into its essentials. Before anything else, Ferriss urges you to demystify any skill. What seems complex or intimidating can almost always be reduced to a handful of essential elements. Concrete example: Argentine tango. Instead of spending months learning every possible move, Tim identified the 20% of steps that deliver 80% of the impact on a dance partner. The goal? Hit the essentials first, gain mastery quickly, and feel immediate progress. Why it works? Our brains crave quick feedback. Small wins fuel motivation, while drowning in complexity drains it. Personal anecdote: when he started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, he spent 2 weeks just learning the basic positions, no advanced moves, just the foundation. This approach let him advance faster than most beginners while avoiding frustration. Quote, "Complexity is your enemy. Simplify, and you'll not only learn faster, but understand more deeply." 2. Select. Focus on what matters most. All skills are vast. Trying to learn everything guarantees failure. Tim teaches us to identify the core, the 20% that produces 80% of the results. Concrete example: learning Japanese. Rather than memorizing every kanji in the traditional order, he focused on the characters most commonly used in daily conversation and texts. The result? He could communicate quickly without wasting time on the irrelevant. Practical tip: before learning anything, ask yourself, if I could retain just one thing, what will give me the most impact? This forces you to cut the noise and move forward efficiently. Quote, "If you don't filter, you're doomed to work hard without ever being truly effective." 3. Sequence. Structure your learning. Knowing what matters isn't enough. You have to know in what order to learn it. That's where sequence comes in. Concrete example: the 4-Hour Chef. Tim doesn't start with complicated dishes. He teaches the basics first: how to handle a knife, how to cook a perfect egg. These core skills can then be combined to create an infinite variety of meals. Golden rule: every step should build a solid foundation for the next. A poorly structured progression isn't just inefficient, it's demotivating. Quote, "Learning isn't linear, but it must be logical. Skip the foundations and everything collapses. 4. Stakes. Create motivating pressure. For Tim, pure motivation isn't enough. You need stakes, real consequences that make learning urgent and tangible. Concrete example: public blog. While learning calligraphy, Tim posted weekly updates online. Public accountability turned procrastination into discipline. Another anecdote: kite surfing. He bet a friend he'd stand on the board within 2 weeks. The bet wasn't just a game, it created a framework that no good intentions alone could enforce. Quote, "Nothing drives discipline like external pressure. The fear of disappointing or losing a bet can sometimes be the best teacher." Now it's your turn. What's one skill you could break down into micro steps this week? Write it in the comments. Apply Tim's 4 steps and watch yourself progress. If these tips resonate, like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next strategies to learn faster, smarter, and with more impact. Part 2. Tim Ferriss's concrete rapid skill acquisition techniques. If the first part introduced you to Tim Ferriss's philosophy, now it's time to get practical. How do you turn these ideas into real, tangible skills, fast, effectively, and in a lasting way? Here are his most powerful techniques. 1. The 80-20 rule. Focus on what really matters. Ferriss doesn't believe in grinding without direction. He applies the Pareto principle relentlessly. 20% of your efforts yield 80% of the results. Concrete example: rock climbing. Tim wanted to make rapid progress in climbing. Instead of practicing every possible move, he focused on the grips and techniques that caused 80% of his sticking points. Within a few weeks, he was climbing routes he never thought he could tackle. Anecdote: one reader applied the same principle to golf. He identified the 3 most common shots in his game, practiced them intensely, and cut his handicap by 10 strokes in a few weeks. Quote, "Don't waste energy on the trivial. Identify what really counts and attack it with everything you've got." 2. DSSS plus CAFE. Break it down to master it. Tim developed his flagship method, DSSS: Deconstruct, Select, Sequence, Stakes. He often combines it with CAFE to supercharge practice: compress, frequency, encoding. Deconstruct: break the skill into essential sub-skills. Select: focus on the parts that give the most results. Sequence: learn them in the optimal order. Stakes: add motivating challenges or consequences. Compress: keep practice short and targeted. Frequency: repeat often in focused bursts. Encoding: link new skills to strong mental cues. Concrete example: poker. Tim wanted to get good enough at poker to play confidently with experienced players. He applied his DSSS plus CAFE approach. Break it down. He identified the 5 key pillars: probabilities, reading opponents, bluffing, bankroll management, and table position. Focus on the essentials. He zeroed in on the elements that would give the biggest immediate impact in tournaments. Daily practice. Tim devoted short, intense 30-minute sessions to one concept at a time, rather than trying to learn everything at once. Create stakes. He played low-stakes online tournaments, tracking wins and losses, which made each practice meaningful. Review and refine. After each session, he noted what worked and what didn't, adjusting his strategy continuously. Within a few weeks, Tim was confidently competing in complex games, far ahead of most beginners who relied solely on theory or traditional lessons. 3. Immersion and micro-experiments. Tim emphasizes total immersion. Placing yourself in environments where the skill is used daily accelerates learning exponentially. Example: Krav Maga. Instead of only practicing techniques in a class, he immersed himself in realistic simulated situations and practiced short micro-sessions multiple times per day. The result? Faster, stronger, and directly applicable learning. Another anecdote. A reader used the same approach for photography. He challenged himself to photograph a new subject every day for a month, analyze the results, and adjust. By experimenting rather than endlessly watching tutorials, he dramatically improved his skills in just 30 days. Quote, "Don't just read or watch, do, experiment, fail, and try again. That's how the brain turns knowledge into skill." 4. Practical tips to apply these methods. Focus on one skill at a time. Don't spread yourself too thin. Track your progress daily, even small wins. They build momentum. Create a mini public challenge, like posting online or making a bet with friends. Stakes often catalyze discipline. Seek quick feedback from friends, mentors, or even a self-recorded video. Immediate feedback accelerates error correction and skill consolidation. Quote, "Now it's your turn. Which skill will you tackle using DSSS plus Cafe this week? Identify your most impactful 20%, create a mini challenge, and immerse yourself fully." Share your choice in the comments. Part 3. Daily routines and productivity hacks. If you want to learn faster and smarter, your daily routine is your secret weapon. Tim Ferriss realized this early on. Every hour, every practice session can be optimized for remarkable results. His routines aren't just habits, they're systems designed to supercharge rapid learning while keeping life balanced. Morning journaling and quick reflection. Every morning, Tim spends 5 to 10 minutes journaling. This isn't just a to-do list. He uses what he calls the 5-minute journal, blending gratitude with a concrete action plan for the day. Concrete example, instead of writing, "I'll learn Spanish today," he writes, "Today I'll memorize 10 new words using association techniques." This small morning ritual sets the tone for the day and makes learning more focused. Meditation to boost focus. Tim meditates daily, either using apps like Headspace or simply in silence for 10 to 20 minutes. This mental pause clears his mind and increases his ability to concentrate during learning sessions. In his own words, meditation helps quiet the mental noise and accelerates the speed at which he internalizes new skills. Time blocking and short, intense sessions. Another key hack, limiting practice time. Tim breaks learning into short, highly focused blocks. Concrete example, for surfing or rock climbing, he doesn't practice for 3 hours straight. Instead, he does 20 to 40-minute ultra-focused sessions with a specific goal. This approach works for languages, sports, or musical instruments. The brain loves limits, and targeted practice becomes exponentially more effective. Writing and self-feedback. After each session, Tim records his successes and mistakes. This creates a feedback loop. Reflect on what worked, adjust the next session, and return with sharper focus. Concrete example, when learning poker, he noted every hand he played, what worked, and why he lost certain hands. This data lets him learn twice as fast as simply repeating without reflection. Structuring your day to maximize learning. For anyone looking to apply his methods, start with a morning ritual to set intentions, scheduled focused sessions with clear objectives, use journaling to capture mistakes and wins, and end with a brief reflection or meditation to consolidate gains. Even 2 to 3 well-planned 20-minute sessions per day can transform your learning. What about you? What's your favorite hack to save time and learn faster? Share it in the comments. Part 4. How to apply these methods in your life starting today. Now that you've explored Tim Ferriss's secrets, his DISS framework, daily routines, productivity hacks, and meta-learning approach, the big question is, how do you turn all of this into real action, starting right now? The key, as Tim often emphasizes, is to start small, but start fast. Momentum comes from action, and that's exactly what accelerates learning. Don't aim for perfection from the get-go. Focus on the essentials and move forward methodically. 1. Quick recap of Tim's methods and philosophy. DISS. Deconstruct, select, sequence, stakes. CAFE. Compress, frequency, and coding. Daily habits and micro-routines. Morning journaling, meditation, short, focused sessions. Immediate feedback. Track successes and mistakes to fine-tune learning. Experimental mindset. Test, measure, adjust, iterate. The underlying philosophy is simple but powerful. Any skill can be learned faster if you know what to learn, how to practice it, and how to measure your progress. Tim isn't just talking about rapid learning, he's talking about living life as an experiment where every skill is a playground for improvement. 2. Concrete examples in action. Example: learning piano in 8 weeks. Break the piece into 5 essential sections. Identify the sections that give the most emotional and auditory impact. Practice each section in 20-minute focused sessions twice a day. Record your progress to create stakes. Take notes on what works and what doesn't. Result: many of his amateur students reach in 8 weeks what would normally take traditional students a year. Example: public speaking. Break your speech into 3 core messages. Pick the most compelling anecdotes or stories. Rehearse out loud in front of a mirror or a friend for 15-minute sessions. Record the sessions to track progress. Add real stakes. Present to a small audience or post a video online. The process makes progress visible, fast, and motivating. Now it's your turn. What's the first skill you'll start learning using Tim's methods? Drop it in the comments. I want to see your ideas. If you found this approach inspiring, like, share to a friend who wants to learn faster. To catch future strategies, subscribe and turn on notifications. Your future self will thank you. Remember, fast learning isn't a myth. With the right system, discipline, and a bit of experimentation, you can turn almost any skill into real results in record time. Start today, and in a few weeks, you'll look back and say, "Wow, I really learned faster than I thought possible." Conclusion: learning fast isn't some mysterious talent reserved for a lucky few. As Tim Ferriss has shown, it's really about method, discipline, and curiosity. Breaking down a skill with DISS, focusing your efforts through CAFE, building micro habits, and setting concrete stakes turns any learning process into a tangible, motivating experience. Whether it's tango, Japanese, piano, or public speaking, the formula is the same. Identify what truly matters, practice smart, track your progress, and adjust quickly. Here's a perfect example. A reader of The 4-Hour Chef wanted to master Japanese calligraphy in just 1 month. Following Tim's methods, he focused on 5 essential characters, practiced each session for 20 minutes, and shared his progress weekly on a dedicated forum. After 4 weeks, he not only wrote with precision and fluidity, but it also developed a daily discipline that spilled over into other areas of his life. Now it's your turn. What's the first concrete step you'll take this week to learn something faster? Write it in the comments and start today. Even the smallest action, repeated smartly, moves you closer to a level of mastery you might have thought impossible. And if you enjoyed this dive into Tim Ferriss's secrets, subscribe, share the video, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next videos. Your next skill is waiting for you. See you soon on Deep Life Lessons.